What is up, you guys? We're back with another video today, and I'm gonna be decluttering again. I'm super excited. In my last declutter video, you would have seen me declutter my neutral eyeshadow palettes. In today's, we're gonna be doing the colourful ones. I feel like I have less of a hold over the colourful eyeshadow palettes because I'm like, I could do it one or two. Definitely decluttering neutral eyeshadow palettes was a bit more difficult because I feel like I need everything in my life. But if you guys are interested in my declutter series, I will be doing more of these videos in the future. I just needed to do the eyeshadow palettes first. It's been a long time coming. I am a hoarder at heart. I said that in my last video, and I just feel like I need everything. I don't know why I feel that way, but I do. A lot of these products are going to be going to my family members or very close friends. I'm going to be sanitizing everything that I give away. And then anything that's relatively new that I'm never going to use, I'll donate to women's shelters. I will do a giveaway of new stuff for you guys. I want to do a giveaway soon. I just don't want to be giving you guys old makeup. I prefer to purchase something new for you to give to you. Long-winded. So if you are interested in seeing my colourful eyeshadow palette declutter, then just keep on watching. Okay, so this video is probably not going to be as long as the previous one. I'm decluttering my neutral palettes because there's not as many colourful palettes in it. Obviously, I'm not as drawn to colourful palettes, but I do have a few. More than likely, I'm going to be donating a majority of them. I'm going to start off with the newest palette though, however. This is the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette, and oops, I'll just open that. You can see what that looks like inside. Absolutely gorgeous palette. I only recently bought it. I think I've done maybe one look on my channel with it, so I will be 100% hanging on to it so I can create a few more looks, especially using like some of these shades down here. I want to play around with it a bit more, and I just feel like I haven't had the pleasure of playing around with this palette lately. Next of all, I want to show you this one. This is the Magic by Juvia's, which looks like, oops, that on the inside. It's such a pretty palette, but I think I've only done maybe one look with it ever, so I just don't think I'm gonna hang on to it. But it is a beautiful palette. The shades are great. Like, look how saturated those colors are. They're just phenomenal. But again, like I said, I've done maybe one, maybe two colors or two looks with this palette. It just doesn't warrant keeping it. Like, they are gorgeous colors, but no, I'm not gonna use it. I may as well give it to somebody else. Then I've got the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This one here is, what's it called? Bling Boss, which looks like that on the inside. Gorgeous shades, really pretty, but I don't think I'm ever gonna use it, so I'll give that to Jenna, I think, because she might like that one. And then I have got Dark Magic. Beautiful green shades in this. It's so pretty. It just has so much like rich colors in it, and the greens are gorgeous. Look at this khaki green down here. It's a super pretty palette, but again, I don't have any use for it. I'm not going to pick it up, and I may as well donate that, so I give that one to Jenna as well because she might like that one. I've got the Carnival palette here. Beautiful shades in this. I don't think I've really had enough time to play around with this palette. I've created maybe one, maybe two looks from it. I mostly would do like something very, very neutral on the eye and use some of these shades as pop of colours underneath my lower lash line. It is gorgeous and the shades are super pigmented in it, but I just like that. Haven't had much time to play around with it, so I think I'm going to hang on to that palette actually. Next up we have this Urban Decay palette. This is the 15-year anniversary palette. It comes in like this little velvet case and it looks like that. I remember getting this, oops, as a Christmas present. It's super pretty. Look at the shades, are gorgeous, but again, it's really old and I don't use it, so I'm going to get rid of that out of my collection, but it is really pretty. It just had its day in the sun and now it's time for it to set. We've got the Sleek makeup palette here. Oops, God, this is so tricky to open. Some of these palettes are ridiculous. This is the Storm palette, which looks like that on the inside. This is so old. Like, I mean, this has been in my collection since the beginning of time, so I'm just going to actually dump that and not donate it. There's no point because, like I said, it's so old. This palette, Eyes on the 80s. My God, I don't even know when I got this palette. It's from BH Cosmetics, obviously, because they all kind of look like this. The shades in it are really, really bright and colourful. Like, look at that neon green in there. Like, it's just so pretty. And this one up here and the pinks and stuff. But I've held on to a really bright colour palette, the Carnival palette. I kind of have all the shades that I want in it. This one is the Kat Von D Pure Vita palette. Again, this could be considered kind of a neutral. I just threw it in here because there's a few purples in it and stuff, but it probably is a neutral palette. absolutely stunningly beautiful palette. I will never get rid of this palette. I love it so much. It will actually have to hit pan on every single shade before I would throw this out. It's like my favorite eyeshadow palette that I own. I love it. The Subculture palette. This has so much controversy surrounding it. You can see that I've hit pan in quite a few shades. I love this palette. I really do. I still love it. I still wear it. And I'll be holding on to this one as well. Just because I use it. So I may as well keep it. And like I said, not everybody likes this palette. A lot of people slated it. Don't like it. But I like it. And I suppose, you know, everybody's different. I have a dupe of it there from Makeup Revolution. I don't need two versions of that palette, so I'm going to donate that one. And then for the last Anastasia palette here is the Norvina one, which is purples. You guys know how obsessed I am with purple eyeshadows. If you've watched me for the longest time ever, you will know that they're my favorite shades ever. I absolutely love purple on my eyes. I just feel like it really brings out the hazel in my eyes, or the brown in my eyes, or whatever. Hazely brown, whatever. I just feel like it's a really nice on my eye color. So I'm gonna hang on to them, the Norvina palette rather, keep that one for a little while longer. I have this Daydream palette, which looks like this. This is a gorgeous palette. It's actually a dupe for the Huda Nude palette. Again, it could be considered more of a neutral palette, but I don't know, there's a lot of colors in it, like, you know, the reds and the plums and the kind of burgundy shades that I consider it more of a color palette. But I think I'm going to donate that one just because I do have the Nude palette, which is from Huda. And I love this palette. I use this quite a lot. I think it's great. I really love the pigmentation of it. I love the longevity of it. I love everything about it. So I'm going to hang on to that. Or actually, do you know what I might do? I might hang on to this one as well. And what I might do is I might do a side-by-side tutorial, you know, featuring a high-end and a more affordable brand, kind of comparing them side by side. So I think I might hang on to that just for now, just for that video, because I think it might be something worth watching, and I have a couple of dupes that I want to include, so that might be good for that video. Next up, I have the Dream palette from Sigma. This is a gorgeous colourful palette, beautiful purples in it, really, really rich peacocky green colours and khaki greens, but I haven't reached for this in a very long time, so I'm going to donate this one. It's just not something that I will dip into. I just know it, and I wouldn't bring it with me anywhere, so it's going into the donation pile. Next up, I have the Sigma Enchanted palette. Look at that packaging. It's so beautiful. This was actually only sent to me there maybe a year ago, if even, and I've never ever used it, would you believe? And it's gorgeous, so I'm gonna hang on to it and maybe try it in a couple of videos. And if I don't use it by the time I'm decluttering the next time, I will donate it, but I just think it's too pretty to give away right now. And the Urban Decay Vice palette, good god, how long have I even got this? I don't, it's still in the packaging. That could just be me. I don't know why I would have kept it in the packaging. I don't even think I've really dipped into it that much. I've obviously used a couple of shades in it, but not enough, so it's going to be donated. This little colourful palette here, which has gorgeous like plum shades in it, and this beautiful fuchsia colour is from Bare Minerals, and I absolutely love this palette. I haven't used it much this summer, but I think I'm going to hang on to it just for a little while until, like I said, I do another declutter, and if it's still there and I haven't used it, it's going, because this is my first proper palette declutter. So sorry if I am keeping too many palettes, but it's just, I'm just not sure if I'm ready to part with some of them yet. I'll leave the Morphe ones till the end, just like my last video. This is the Blue Bloods palette from the most controversial man on the planet, Jeffree Star. It looks like that on the inside. I don't care that Jeffree Star made this. I really like this palette, and I love these kind of mint shades. I bought this obviously before all the rubbish that came out about him. It's probably going to be the only palette that I will ever have from him. It's the first and last one that I'll probably buy. I'm going to hang on to it for a little while just because I do like the blue shades in it, and I haven't given it enough of a use, we'll say. So I will hold on to it just for a little bit, but if like next time I'm decluttering I still have it, it'll be going. It's just a bit bulky, the packaging. That's the only reason I don't dip into it as often as I should. This is the Soap Revolution Extra Spice palette. I very rarely use this. It's a beautiful palette, but I just don't use it enough, and I bought it a year ago and I still haven't really used it. So I think I'm going to donate this because it's just not going to be something that I'm going to dip into. But it is a gorgeous palette, and I do think Soap is amazing. I just, you know, I don't use the palette enough. Next up we have this. This is like 10,000 years old, this palette. It is the 35S palette from Morphe. And yeah, I never really use this. It used to be kind of like a Halloween palette that I would use, so I'm gonna donate it because it's just never going to be used. I have this one here. This is the 35U palette, which looks gorgeous. Never been touched, never been used. Gorgeous shades in it. Again, it's something that I thought I would use, but I haven't, so I'm gonna donate that one as well. The next Morphe palette is the 35D, which is, ooh, beautiful colors, beautiful blues, really nice purples, a lot of kind of like deep neutral shades in it as well. Never use it, not gonna hold on to it, so it's going in the donation pile. And then the final color from Morphe one I have is the 35P, which is the purple one, which I love this. Now I use this quite a lot. You can see like there's a lot of dents in it, and it was well loved, well used, but I don't pick it up anymore at all, and I'm going to part with this also. One Beauty Babe one here, which is the Identity palette, which looks like this. Gorgeous palette. I still use this, so I'm going to hang on to that one. It's beautiful. It's lots of neutrals in it as well as colors, and I just think it's gorgeous. I love like the pinks and purples and reds in this. It's quite a easy palette to use. I just feel like the shades are really, really blendable and like very, very wearable, and it's just a gorgeous palette, so I'm gonna hold on to that. And I think the last palette I will be holding on to is the Viseart palette, just because this is very unique and compact in the selection of shades. Like it's just really, really compact, even though I have the Carnival palette, which does have an awful lot of the doubles of these shades. But to be fair, I'm never going to bring that away with me if I want like a really bright colourful eye, whereas I would bring that one away. They do have an awful lot of crossover of shades, so maybe the next time I do a declutter, if I don't need this, I will get rid of it, because like I said, there is an awful lot of crossover, and this just is quite bulky, whereas this one's obviously a lot more sleek and compact, but the quality of the shadows in this are way above the quality of the shadows in this. But I don't know, I can't part with this one just yet. I'm not ready to, so we'll hang on to that for a bit. And then the final three shadows I'm going to be getting rid of because they're so old. I have the Galaxy one here. This was one of my favourite palettes ever. Like, I don't know why I was so obsessed with this, but I loved it. I broke two of the shades out of it. I just was really, really, really loved it, especially the colour Sun and Mars. I loved them, but I think it's time for that one to go, as well as the 60s, which I will never really use. The shades are just not really my cup of tea. I have enough bright palettes now, especially after keeping that Viseart one as well, so we don't need too many colourful eyeshadow palettes, but it is quite pretty if you're into colourful eyeshadows. I'm not really sure about the quality of those palettes anymore. It's been a long time since I've used BH Cosmetics. Last one is the BH Cosmetics Hollywood palette, which, do you remember these guys? Oh my god, these are like OG YouTube days. You pulled out either side and you had your palette colours or your eyeshadow colours on either side, and then in the bottom you had 3 face products. Oh my god, I had a few of these, but for some reason I kept this one. I don't know why, but it's been donated or gotten rid of. Actually, do you know what, I think I'm going to bin that one and the other two, because I don't know how long they've been around, and I just don't really want to be giving them to people and they're that old. But yeah, there you go, OG YouTube days. So between all the colourful eyeshadows and neutral eyeshadows, these are all the ones I'm getting rid of. There is so many in there. I feel like a weight has been lifted off me, that I've gotten rid of them. I don't need them anymore. I don't want them in my life anymore, and they are good to go. I'm only keeping these eyeshadow palettes. Also, you would have seen in my last video I talked about the Inglot shadows. I'm going to do a separate video on them, just because I want to go through all my single shadows and see what I have and what I don't want and what I need to get rid of and what I want to keep. So these are the only colourful eyeshadow palettes that I will be hanging on to for now. And who knows, I could end up decluttering every single one of them in the next video. I know, I don't think so. I think I would end up keeping at least one. But I feel so much better just having such a small collection of colourful eyeshadows. I really don't need that many. Thank you so much, guys, for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed watching me declutter my colourful eyeshadow palettes. I feel like a weight's been lifted off my heart, that I've kind of gotten rid of those. They've been hanging around for too long. It's time for them to leave my life. I don't need them anymore. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, I do have the neutral palettes, which I will link down below or in a card or somewhere around here, and you can go and watch that video if you'd like. And yeah, I think that's everything I want to say. Let me know what other declutter series you would like to see coming up. I will be doing other stuff, but what would you like to see next? I did foundations recently, so probably won't be doing them for a while, but if there's anything else you want me to declutter, like maybe blushes or something, I can do that. Thank you guys again for watching. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon.